tonight, you witness history. You witness something that's never been done in the world of podcasts. 4 men. 8 champions. Who will come out controlling their own narrative? Who will come out the champion of the Aces and Eights tournament? You're watching the Paradigm Shift.
And now, the Paradigm Shift and Paradise Customs proudly brings to you the Aces of Eights tournament.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another exciting installment of the Paradigm Shift Wrestling Podcast. I'm your moderator, Mr. William D. Morgan, and we are starting off tonight with our Aces of Eight tournament. But before we get started and I get everyone introduced, I just want to remind everyone that none of the music that you hear tonight is owned by any of us. So please keep that in mind. And now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and start introducing everyone that's in the room tonight. First, I'm going to head over to Canada, the great province of Canada. The man who still looks like Gene Snitsky, even though he's babyface. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring my good friend in. Gene, how you doing, Gene?
We are kicking off tonight. So far, so good. Aces and Eights is on its way. We've got some good news. And like I said, if anybody caught the post I did in the Boiler Room, in WRS, in MWA, this is must-see tonight live. So don't want to miss a thing. Get your pen and papers ready because it's going to be a long show, Daddy. So kick it off. Back to you, Will.
Next, I'm going to head over back to the great US of A. Bring in my brother from another mother. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rob Weary. Rob, how you doing, man?
I am doing fine, Willie Will, if you will. We have an exciting show for you tonight, and I'm telling you, it would be harder to find a better podcast than the Paradigm Shift and the Aces of Eights tournament. You have a better chance finding the AEW action figures in Walmart than finding a better podcast than this one tonight.
Oh, my goodness. Then we head on over. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. My fellow New Orleans Saints fan. Everyone give it up for Mr. Brandon. Brandon, how are you today, my friend?
Who dat? Who dat?
Amen.
Who that Saints?
Amen.
They're going to beat them Saints.
Amen.
Boys and girls around the Boiler Room, anybody watching right now, thank you for watching the Paradigm Shift, and it is a blast and an honor to be here.
At last, but certainly not least, my XFL buddy, the guy who started this show, the founder. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring my man Josh in. Josh, where you at?
Oh, man, boys. I don't know about y'all, but I got a little tear coming to my eye today. Everybody, none of the fans know, but, like, this has been a few months' worth of work, planning, putting together, and in the last month in leaving the Stables Network, that work has even doubled, and I got a new job. But I am so excited for this tournament, boys. I am so freaking excited. Yes. And we're about to kick this off and do this right, boys. So first things first, let's jump right into it. I believe we have just a couple more clips that I want to show. So first off, just
pre-tournament interviews.
Everyone did a promo for this. yours truly included. I did a promo as well. Everybody did a promo. So, Josh, you want to roll those promos out?
Here we go. I don't even know where to start. Y'all know who I am. I'm Josh Haney, founder and creator of the Paradigm Shift Pro Wrestling Podcast. And I'm here to talk about one thing. The Aces of Eights tournament. I am the manager of the Young Guns. And we are the youngest, greatest team ever created in the face of wrestling. And my team is going all the way to the top. And I will be the first champion of the Paradigm Shift. And it will be Too Sweet. All right, boys. There's
Weird.
the technical difficulty. The whole video did not download.
Okay, no problem.
All right,
Oh,
no
man.
problem.
Y'all go ahead and jump into it. I'm not in the first match, so y'all jump into it. I'm going to get it fixed. Hang on.
We'll come back to
Okay,
you, Josh. We'll come back to you, Josh. I believe you
All
have
right.
everything there, Mr. Weary.
Okay, I'm going to explain really quick how this is going to work. There are 5 of us here. 2 people are involved in the match. Each person will have 1 minute to give an argument as to why their wrestlers should move on in the tournament. After that, the other 3 people will vote as to see who will be moving on in the Aces of Eights tournament. Are we all under good? And I do have the stopwatch here that I will be timing.
So,
All right, Jack Tony.
Because I know I don't know how, with the metric system, I don't know how Canadian time runs, but I'm saying 1 minute on the stopwatch. So
1 minute works here in Canada. Don't worry.
oh really?
60
It's not
seconds.
like
Oh.
it's not like 620 kiloseconds or something like that.
No,
I'm just
no.
wondering. So
No,
Okay.
you're good.
all right. So we're going to start off in Group 2 because we had a lot of marquee matches in Group 1. The person at the top of the top of each bracket is going to get to speak first. In this case, it is Will against myself on this one. All right, you ready, Will?
I'm ready.
It is Sheldon Benjamin taking on John Moxley. All right, you ready, Will?
I'm ready.
And go.
You're looking at somebody who has untapped potential as Shelton Benjamin. He's been a success everywhere he's gone. U.S. champion, even successful in OVW. He has done almost everything you can, with the exception of one thing, and that's be a world champion. He did very well with Kurt Angle's crew back in the day when he was on SmackDown. He showed incredible talent against Shawn Michaels on Monday Night Raw. He has just been talent untapped, and he's doing his thing right now on Monday Night Raw. So definitely, and he's also talking now. He's even improved on the mic. So he's done everything a guy could do, with the exception of being a world champion. I think he gets the job done against John Moxley. He'll be ready to go. I think he gets the victory.
All righty. You got any more to say? You got 11 more seconds.
Nope, I'm good.
You good? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Here I go with my 1 minute. Let's talk about one of the hottest wrestlers in the sport today. The man, the purveyor of violence, John Moxley, former WWE champion, current AEW champion. The man has just created controversy everywhere he's gone, and he has been successful everywhere that he has been. Even in his days in CZW, Moxley was great. The Dean Ambrose stuff was funny and good, but a member of the Shield, one of the most dominant groups in WWE, and now just being a dominant champion. We even saw it tonight with a great match against Darby Allin on Dynamite tonight. So I think there's no question in my mind that John Moxley should move on in this tournament. All right. There you have the arguments. Josh, go ahead.
So now is the vote.
Yep.
Mhm.
The first, and to do this right, we're always going to go to Brandon last. So Brandon always has the deciding vote.
No pressure.
Being
You've
that
been
he-
warned.
oh, we lost Rob for a second. Well, actually, that works out because I got the video fixed. We're going to let this play while Rob. So, judges, take your time. Think about what the boys said while this plays. I don't even know where to start. Y'all know who I am. I'm Josh Haney, founder and creator of the Paradigm Shift Pro Wrestling Podcast. And I'm here to talk about one thing. The Aces of Eights tournament. I am the manager of the Young Guns. And we are the youngest, greatest team ever created in the face of wrestling. And my team is going all the way to the top. And I will be the first champion of the Paradigm Shift. And it will be sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Paradigm Shift, I am Rob Werry, and ladies and gentlemen, just like my boys back here, the Elite have formed a super group in professional wrestling. I have formed a super group, the Superpowers, that will go ahead and will win the Aces of Eight tournament here on the Paradigm Shift. And look at who I've got. I've got two world champions on my list and former world champions, Drew McIntyre, Chris Jericho, John Moxley, Pentagon Jr., Marty Scurll, Tetsuya Naito, Will Ospreay, Rosemary. I've assembled the greatest team of professional wrestlers today. Ebony Experience, the Emerson family, and the Young Guns. They don't stand a chance against the Superpowers. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax while I become the Aces and Eight champion.
The Emerson family. If you listen to me, you go straight to the top. Remember those words, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Look at my team. Kevin Owens, Edge, Triple H, Adam Cole, Bay Bay, Bret the Hitman Hart, Allie, Trish Stratus, and the one and only, the best bout machine, the 6-star maker, the cleaner, the Terminator, Kenny Omega. So my team is jacked, stacked, and packed to the max. Like Kenny likes to say, goodbye and good night. Bang.
Very quickly, I just want to say, if you will, baby. First off, let me tell y'all right now, Josh, Gene, Rob, the Doctor of Style is coming for all y'all. Y'all don't stand a chance against the Doctor of Style Slick and the Ebony Experience, daddy. It's what it is. So you can take your AEWs, you can take your Canada Bomb Wrestling, but most of all, Rob, you can take your New Japan stuff and just throw it all away. Just throw it all away. Because it don't matter, baby. None of it matters. End of the day, the underdogs, the true champions of the Aces of Eights tournament, which, by the way, you can listen to Facebook.com on the Paradigm Shift Wrestling page. Definitely check it out. It's over for you guys. And I hate to say it, Butch Reed and the crew, Booker T, we're going to take you all out. Get ready, baby, because it's coming. If you will, have mercy, baby.
Very good.
Real quick, I just have to give a quick shout out to Mr. Brandon and Mr. Gene for all the work they put in on the videos that you saw before, during. They did a lot of work on that. Truly, like, thank you guys a lot.
Our
So,
pleasure.
now,
okay, back to old business. We had the arguments for Benjamin and Moxley. Gentlemen, the vote is on you.
So we'll start with.
Gene, I'm actually going to go first, let you go, and then Brandon.
Okay, so my vote, and nothing against Shelton Benjamin, but my vote goes to John Moxley.
I got to go purely off of resume here. I do give Benjamin credit. He kept a career live on the indies for several years. And I do think in a lot of these matches, you have to take that into effect. And I think it's closer than people are thinking in my head, just because Moxley's AEW champion. People are thinking, oh, he's going to pick Moxley. Well, I am picking Moxley, but not for that reason. It's purely into the fact that, God, look at what he's done just in the time that he's left WWE, and how much he's grown, and people, I hate people saying like he's the same thing he was in WWE. No, he's not. No, he's not. But I still want to hear Brandon's opinion on this. Maybe he was going to go a different route with that.
I was literally going to say the exact same thing. I vote for Moxley. Strictly resume, though.
It ain't over.
So
Strictly resume. I mean,
Shelton
Benjamin.
Your winner. Go ahead.
Don't cut the judge off.
I'm sorry.
That's a mark against you, Bob.
I might need him later. Can I use a key? Wait, can I use a key now?
This is not the dungeon. That will not.
Oh, it's not the dungeon. Okay, sorry, wrong show.
No, all I was going to say is, for me, Shelton Benjamin, talented athlete. I'm not taking nothing away from him.
Absolutely.
But this is strictly resume. If I'm going to have to pick a clear winner, it has to be Moxley.
All right. So your winner by unanimous decision is John Moxley. He moves on to the next round in the tournament. I'm gonna jump around a little bit, so just to be a little fair and all that stuff. We're gonna move to the bottom.
Quick.
Yeah.
Facebook user, if you're commenting in the comments, please click the link above so we know who you are and we can count your vote. Because real quick, we are announcing that we're going to do a tournament. If you pick a guy, if you think that one of the guys from our team is going to go all the way, and you pick it and he does, you will win a very special treat to come on our show for 10 minutes for a very special guest next month. Very special. So it will. So if you pick a guy and you think you know who is going to go all the way, obviously it's not Benjamin. I'm sorry, because
I just love the comment. I love the comment that it's like, why does Gene get? Why does Gene get all these shows? Couldn't we get Virgil?
So
Virgil wasn't open.
If you're in the comments, so we know who we're talking to. And we can pick on you like we pick on each other.
That's right.
So, Rob, take us to our next match.
Our next match, we're going to go to the bottom half of the top of the bracket and all that stuff. We're going to go Gene and Josh. This is going to be your match. It's going to be Kevin Owens versus Dr. Britt Baker. So,
Who?
So Dr. Britt Baker.
Dr. Britt Baker, MD.
Yes.
I just can't believe it.
No. DDS.
Oh,
DDS.
yeah, that's right. DDS.
She's a dentist.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, Gene, you're at the top of the bracket with Kevin Owens. You have 1 minute and go.
Well, it's Kevin Owens. Back in the day in Ring of Honor, he was known as Kill Steen Kill. He was definitely one of the, if not the greatest in Ring of Honor. for dang sure. And also, once again, when he came over and translated over into the WWE, starting in NXT, becoming NXT Heavyweight Champion, and also having an open challenge on his very first night on Raw, beating and defeating John Cena. And then again, going on the tear that he has. He has taken on great champions. He hasn't had that great push just of yet, but he did have the great match with Chris Jericho, and then he also had that short run as the Universal Champion. But yet again, there's so much potential with Kevin Owens. Just look in the last WrestleMania, at WrestleMania 36, when he jumped off the top of the sign right through onto
Time.
lovely.
Time.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a buzzer or something. Yeah. All right. Josh, you have 1 minute to convince us that Dr. Britt Baker should win this match, and go.
All right. So I realize Baker's coming into this as a huge underdog, and I am the first of the group to have a woman fight in this match. But Britt Baker is not only one of the hottest females in wrestling right now, even while she's injured, as the role model, she is also a full-time dentist at the same time. She worked the indies. She worked bar wrestling. She worked PWG. She is on her way to being the top girl in AEW in the next 6 months once she comes back from her return. If she doesn't beat Sheeta in her return. I love Owens. I think he's great, but he's kind of always stayed at this one level. I feel Baker is going straight to the top, and if she hadn't hurt herself,
Time.
she'd hard.
All right.
Need to do that
Gentlemen.
Family Feud buzzer in there.
I know. I need some kind of buzzer. I'll have to have a
I'll tell
buzzer.
you, if I had my board, if my mic would have come in, man, like I'd have had it.
I'm a
Freaking
perfect
people.
That,
buzzard.
well, your board ain't going to do me much good, but anyway, we'll
But I
go
could've
on
been
from
the
there.
winner.
All right, gentlemen. Will, Brandon, we've heard the arguments. Will, you want to go first? Who gets it, Owens or Baker?
If I'm going with anyone, it would be Kevin Owens. But for any gender, I think Baker would hold herself in high esteem in a match like that. But I gotta go with Kevin Owens.
I kind of agree with you on that one, Will. It's Baker's good, but we've seen in the past that Kevin Owens just doesn't care. I mean, he had to be the gentleman this week when he took on the with the Iconics, after they slapped him twice in the face. But in a match, Owens takes it.
I think so too.
Yep.
I have to agree, gentlemen. Kevin Owens for the win. Clean sweep. Kevin
Clean
Owens,
sweep.
just like our lovely fan there, Mr. Rambo says, Owens can cut a promo blindfolded with his mouth on lock. Every time I hear Britt Baker come on the mic, I want to pull my ears off my face.
See, I disagree.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I love Baker. Baker is what Bailey is trying to be.
Yes.
I disagree.
But she's doing it a lot better.
I
Yes.
disagree.
And that's we've discussed this on many times. That's because she's got the best role model in the business in Chris Jericho talking to her.
But
Yep.
while I'll say this for Britt Baker's defense, while she's been on this hiatus, it's getting her better on the mic. She
Yep.
will get better over the 6 months of training if she listens.
She rambles. She rambles about nothing.
But
And
That's what irritates me the most.
Of her gimmick
No,
right now.
her point is to get over.
That's
She's
right.
Not getting over. She is rambling with some bull crap that makes no sense. I am not impressed with Britt Baker. I don't care if she's Baby's Bay. I don't care. Nothing about her. Nothing about her gets over for me.
That's the next T-shirt. I don't care if she's Bebe's Bay. That's the greatest comment yet.
I'm more impressed with her in the ring than I am with her mic ability. Her mic.
Yeah.
I'm more impressed with that. And that's what really needs to go, because her being on the mic, once she gets back in the ring, she gets healthy, she's performing, she won't be on the mic as much. So
That's right.
Thank
yeah.
you.
So we got a little bit of podcast royalty in the chat. Hang on one second. There we go.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
Mr. Kevin, how are you, sir? All right. We're going to move on now. We're going to the bottom half of the bracket. Like I said, I'm jumping around. This. Oh, come on. No. The views expressed in the Facebook comments are not necessarily those of the Paradigm Shift and its hosts. Thank you. Just wanted to clear that up. Oh. Wow.
Touching that one, buddy.
Okay.
Baby.
Moving on now. Josh versus Will. You guys are up next. It's going to be Kevin Von Erich versus Ron Simmons.
Ooh, yeah.
So, Josh, you are at the top of the bracket. 1 minute. Tell us why Kevin Von Erich should win, and go.
So Kevin Von Erich didn't really have a lengthy run in any big promotion, but here in my state, he is a name that you can't talk about wrestling to anybody without hearing. The Sportatorium in Dallas back in the 80s was the place to be on a Saturday night. And that man was the man to see. He was volatile. He was a little crazy. And if he locked that claw on your face, it was going to be over. So the only thing that I can't say about Kevin Von Erich is that he wasn't a WWE champion. But he checked every box to easily have been the Shawn Michaels if he'd ever gotten that chance. Kevin Von Erich is...
Sorry, sir, your time is up.
Where can I go?
Willie Will. It's 1 minute on Ron Simmons, and go.
Unlike my opponent, my guy has been a champion in a major federation, which was WCW. He beat a very good opponent in Vader for that title. He also went over to WWE and represented himself quite well with the Nation of Domination. Go back and look. Not only did he represent well in WCW and WWE, but he didn't have a family lineage that he had to handicap himself on. He did it on his own. He did it by himself. And that should be commended. Again, former WCW champion, recognized as the first Black WCW champion, is a big deal, not only in WCW, but also throughout the community, which I am proudly a part of. And I think that he will get the victory in this match.
I love Will. He's always under time. Yet another 11 seconds to go, but he must be timing himself. All right, gentlemen. Kevin Von Erich versus Ron Simmons. Gene, you want to go first on this one?
Sure, I will go first. I have to say right off the bat, I love the Claw. I love Kevin Von Erich. I know about him from Wrestling Royalty family of the Von Erich family. But Will struck home with a great point. Ron Simmons is the very first African-American heavyweight champion in any major federation. And we got to recognize that as being said. Now, if this was a match, pretty much what we're talking about is the Spine Buster versus the Claw. Who's going to win? Myself, I got to go with Ron Simmons. I got to go with him. That's who I'm picking.
I'm going to say Kevin Von Erich, out of all the Von Erich boys, was the most talented. And Josh is absolutely right. The Sportatorium on either Friday or Saturday night. Saturday nights,
I think. I couldn't remember.
Saturday nights was the hottest place to be in the 80s. However, the problem was with Kevin, while he had the talent, Kerry had the look.
Yeah.
So they always pushed Kerry, and
And Kerry
Kevin
had no
not-
talent.
Yeah, Kerry had his own demons to deal with. Ron Simmons had the athletic ability, former Florida State, is a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, is a member of the WWE Hall of Fame, champion wherever he went. I agree with Gene. I got to give the nod to Simmons. Brandon? Damn. Damn.
That's the only thing Brandon has to say on that one.
That's all you got. That's all you can add on that one. So
I vote for Kevin.
Oh,
ooh.
see, I thought I might have to-
I'm not taking nothing away from Ron Simmons. Rob, you said it best. Phenomenal athlete.
Yep.
But to captivate a whole state, that last name, what was it? The Yellow Rose of Texas?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The whole state. I think for a push, Texas is massive. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
But to have that support backing you to get over, I feel like Von Erich would win.
I do have an issue. Doesn't the whole race trump a whole state? Go back and look at it. I'm serious. Go back and look at it.
Hey, no. We're not looking at race. We got full race cards.
Look at Ron at that time. There was not a whole lot of us in the game back then.
Very true.
And
Very true.
it's increased, of course, since that time. But back in those days, there were a whole lot of brothers and sisters doing this thing back then.
For sure.
We inspired a lot. If it wasn't for Ron Simmons, I truly believe there'd be no Booker T, there'd be no Stevie Ray, there'll be no Shelton Benjamin. That's just my 2 cents. Not that I'm trying to sway you, but just my 2 cents.
No, I absolutely agree with you. It's just as far as I'm looking at match wise. Like if they were both across the ring, I would, in my opinion, Von Erich would probably win. I could be totally wrong.
All right.
We never
Well,
know, unfortunately.
There we go. We have it's a split decision there, 2-1. Simmons moves on in the tournament. Rambo says I give it to Ron. Kevin is one of those guys that
It's a big what if.
the big you read it. You got a bigger screen than me.
I give it to
I
Ron.
would say he's a complete package, but comes into play too often, which is true. That was Kevin's downfall. Is he was really, really talented, but he was really, really skinny. In today's day and age, Kevin would be huge. He would be one of the top guys in the federation, like his boys are. But he's just he didn't have the look back then.
And you got to give it to what it is. It's still a what if match because we'll never know, right?
Right. No.
That's very
Right.
true.
All right, what's next,
So-
Mr. Weary?
2-1. Ron Simmons moves on. We're gonna go to our next match in the bottom half of the bracket. Okay, everybody's gonna get a break. It's got to be me and Gene the next 2 matches. So
Okay.
we're gonna go with Trish Stratus versus Tetsuya Naito.
You're right.
That's a good, real quick.
You're right,
That's a
Rambo.
good point, Rambo. That's a good
Great
point.
point.
30 years too early. That's a good point.
That was great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
But
So
who's top of that
Gene-
bracket, Gene?
I'm top.
what's that?
I
You're
was
top.
with that bracket.
So 1 minute for Trish Stratus and go.
Well, what more can I say about Trish Stratus? She is a Women's Hall of Famer, 6-time WWE Women's Champion. I know there's other women out there that have trumped that by now, but Trish Stratus was also a pioneer during a time during the Attitude Era. Her Lita, those matches, you could go back and forth and say they were the most phenomenal at that time, and it did showcase women's wrestling. She wasn't just a pretty face; she could give it to you in the ring. Look at the feud between her and Mickie James. Again, she can bring it in the ring. But against Tetsuya and Naito, I had to say this is pretty much Trish. I'm sorry, I love you. She's from Canada, but this is definitely Naito's night, and I am.
All right.
Go ahead, Rob.
All right. I'm gonna do this in like 15 seconds. It's Tetsuya Naito. It is the man who has headlined the Tokyo Dome three or four times, I believe. The first man to ever be a double champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling, winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the IWGP Intercontinental Championship in one weekend, in the same weekend. Naito has been a star. Yes, he has fallen on hard times the last couple of weeks with losing to Evo, but overall, the track record, he has been one of the most popular stars in New Japan Wrestling. So I got to give it to Naito.
Boom.
Done.
Yeah.
All right, boys. The votes are yours.
I'm not going to take a lot of time with this one, Naito. There's no point. I'm sorry. I love Trish. I do.
To me,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, I think Rambo just kind of made this, made it.
Naito.
Same, Naito.
Naito. All
For
right,
everybody
Naito.
watching and listening to this podcast, we will be doing a female tournament very soon. It's going
Yes.
to happen. And a Golden Ages tournament. Like, that's going to happen too.
I know.
Ooh, that'd be great.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I'm one of the few people, but I always thought Lita was better than Trish. But that's just me.
I agree.
All right. So once again, we'll go back up to the top half of the Group 2 bracket, and it's me and Gene again. Gene, you're going to go first. It's Ali versus Will Ospreay.
Man, just taking out the female team.
Probably too.
All right.
Okay, what can I say? Ali, former Impact heavyweight or knockout champion. Again, another Canadian, but she don't stand a chance against Will Ospreay. I'm just gonna say that. There's nothing more I can really say about Ali, the bunny. She's great. She is gonna come into her own, and now her being over in AEW, we've seen the chemistry that her and Brandy Rhodes is doing, but she's not pulling it out over the assassin Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin. So go ahead, Will or Rob. I mean, that's time.
It's okay. Here's my time. It's Will Ospreay over Ali, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion several times over, British star. He has done things that I have not seen anyone do, aerial wise, in professional wrestling. Ospreay takes it. Done.
Yep.
Josh, can you pull up that last comment?
Can't wait to see this.
Whoa. Oh,
Man. Ali ain't got no
that is
support.
brutal.
Ali ain't got no support. Oh my gosh.
No. See, me and Rambo, we have this thing.
Dang.
It's brotherly love, though. I get it.
I can't. I just can't. I have the greatest. I think I have the greatest
Read
comment.
this comment.
Gene,
Ooh!
your match against
Oh, I feel the love. I feel the love. But I'm not getting into that. We got Aces 8.
Oh, wait, we got to vote. All
All
right.
right.
Ospreay.
Ospreay.
I wish this was a beauty contest. Ospreay.
I like Ali. I'm not gonna sit here.
Oh.
I like her.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do.
I think, like I
Okay.
said, I think down the road as she progresses in AEW, she'll get good, and definitely I can see potential with her.
I'm very curious to see how her and Brandy continue to tag.
Yeah.
Hey, Gene. And a bunny gets boiled faster than a Fatal Attraction movie.
There
So-
you go.
All right. Let's finish off the top half of the bracket here. It's going to be Will versus Josh. Hacksaw Butch Reed takes on the AEW chairman, Sean Spears. Will, you are up first. 1 minute.
Oh my goodness.
And go.
This ain't gonna be pretty. But Hacksaw Stuff, one of the strongest guys in wrestling history. Pulled off the match with Ron Simmons and Doom. Gave Ric Flair RNS Hell. Champion in his own right. In the minor league, in the minor league indies. I think I saw on WWE too, if I remember, as a tag champ. But he's tough, double tough. I think he gets the job done. He's one of the strongest competitors we've ever had in pro wrestling. I think he gets the job done. Close match, but I think he gets it done.
All right. Josh, Sean Spears for the win.
So Sean Spears gets a bad rap because of his time in WWE, but he had every fan captivated for over a year in NXT. He was the top guy, taking the same role that Breeze had in NXT that not very many people have gotten, like that legacy role. And he has continued to grow immensely in AEW, constantly. And I'm telling you, if this whole Four Horsemen fruition comes, the glove, the Tully giving him the glove has been the thing that he's needed for a long time before AEW. And I know it's a storyline, it's kayfabe, but I don't know. There's something about it. It's really brought him more in his zone. And Spears, I think Spears takes that match just for the mindset he's in now with the perfect timing.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, the debates are done. Let's talk about it. Butch Reed versus Sean Spears.
10, baby.
I'm going to say this. Okay, you go ahead.
I'll go first. If I'm looking at Butch Reed versus Sean Spears, if I'm going with resume alone, Butch Reed's got it all day. He was tough. He was double tough. Arn Anderson had the most toughest time with him. And you look at Butch Reed being in with the Doom, tag team, Doom in WCW. Butch Reed, I'm not putting anything away from Sean Spears. Don't get me wrong. He is a fellow Canadian. So, you know what I mean? This is nothing to play against. But just right now, Sean is starting to develop into that more lethal character, and he hasn't found that potential just yet. Butch Reed will have it for me.
I gotta say, the only thing I took exception, Josh, with your argument is, popularity wise, Sean Spears was so over with the 10 chant and all that stuff. But as far as wrestling wise, and as far as wrestling talent goes, just for the pure hittedness, I gotta go with Butch Reed over Spears. I mean, Sean had the popularity, and his moves in AEW when he came in were great, but Butch Reed is just over time was just better, I thought. So I'm going with Reed.
As am I. Reed is the better hard worker. Anybody to give Anderson a hard time deserves a win.
All right. Okay, so Butch Reed gets the win there. We're going to move on now to the bottom half of the bracket. It's Will against me on this one. This is one of our marquee matchups. Bobby Lashley against Chris Jericho.
Oh, that's so nasty.
Will you get the first minute and go?
It's going to be tough. But Bobby has been a champ. He's been a world champion before. He's shown well he's shown well in WWE before. He's doing work now. He had a very good match against Drew McIntyre not too long ago. He's also talking a little bit better. He had that whole thing with Lana was stupid, but in terms of talent, he has shown that he's not as stiff as he used to be. He is learning. He is showing his power. He has to look. That's clear. He's younger. He's healthier. and I think I think he gets the match done. Yeah, Jericho's a wily vet, but how much can Jericho take against that type of power? And again, he's the younger of the two, healthier of the two. So I gotta go with Lashley. Gotta go with Lashley.
All right. What can you say about a man who has won 50 championships all over the world? And has been a champion in every federation he has been a part of. In fact, it's even in his name, Le Champion, Chris Jericho. Jericho is arguably the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. I don't see the greatest, but he is certainly good in this in his era. I give Lashley the power advantage in this thing, but I really think that the overall cunningness and the career, the veteran status of Chris Jericho gives him the win at the end. So I'm gonna say Le Champion continues in the tournament.
Straight up, I'll start looking
Come
at
on,
this.
Canadian.
I'm going to say this straight up. Looking at this from just knowing the two. Bobby Lashley, he's got the looks for days. He's got the power for days. But at the end, we're talking about our generation's GOAT, and that's Le Champion. Chris Jericho takes it for me.
I gotta agree with that. I mean, Rob, you said it. He is Le Champion. He is the Lionheart. He is, the God. The man. He is the pain maker. The man has been so many things in so many different organizations, and he's able to rebuild himself over and over and over again. And I will say it truly. To me, Chris Jericho is a GOAT. The only man to beat my man Stone Cold and Triple H in the same night for the undisputed title. Or The Rock, I'm sorry, The Rock.
Yeah, it was The Rock.
And ask him about it. He'll tell you about it every time.
Every time.
So, yeah, Jericho is by far the GOAT. But if we're talking in the same ring, same time, same night, I don't feel like he's going to beat Bobby Lashley. As smart as he is, as cunning as he is, Lashley will overwhelm him. So my vote was Lashley. Now, if we're talking career-wise, Jericho beats him by a long shot. That's a given.
Yeah.
But if we're talking the same ring, same night, Lashley wins that. Oh, wow.
Here's all I'm going to say. Here's all I'm going to say about that comment.
It's on audio, and you're hearing us laugh and not understanding it's because some of the comments we're getting in the stream, and some of them can't be repeated on air.
Yeah, we can repeat all this.
I'm giving my orange.
The unedited version. Check out on live stream on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a 2-1 vote. Jericho gets the win on that one. So let's go to our final match in the Group 2 division. It's
late 4 in this bracket.
What's that?
This is the match of the late 4 in this bracket.
Yes, it is Pentagon Jr. versus Sami Callihan. Me against Josh, and I'm gonna get to go first on this one. So. This one's going to give me fits because both of them are talented competitors. They've both been Impact World Champions, but looking at the record, the great matches that he's had right now in AEW, the matches in Impact, and of course, it was a little more scripted than what it usually was, but Pentagon Jr., I think, between him and Prince Puma saved Lucha Underground after the first and second season because they were the ones that everyone was talking about. in Lucha Underground, Pentagon Jr. Sammy's tough, but I gotta give the edge. I gotta say Pentagon Jr. on this one. Go.
Sammy Callahan has been the face of so many different companies. He was the face of CZW for the time. He was the face of MLW for the time. He has constantly been a face of Impact in the last 2 years as they've rebuilt. Yes, he's faced Pentagon in real life and won in those matches 2-1. They have had some of the most brutal. Their SummerSlam match, or their Slammiversary match 2 years ago, was one of the most brutal matches I'd ever seen. Sammy is so versatile in the fact that he can play this psychotic, crazy Mick Foley type, but he also is just so freaking talented on the mic. He has been champion in multiple organizations. He will be champion again sometime in the next organization. I would love to see him get more spotlight. Sammy takes this match across from each other.
I'm glad I'm not a judge in this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Canada.
So it's OVE versus Zero Miro. For me, this is tough because both guys, hands down, are just killers in the ring.
User click the link up top.
So I'm going to, just to save face and time, I'm going to go with what my gut's telling me, Sammy Callahan. I'm giving the vote to Sammy.
This is tough.
If you will.
But if you will, this is tough though. Man, as much as I like Sammy Callahan, I gotta go with Pentagon Jr. Man, he did work. He did work. If it wasn't for him, that company would have went under a lot sooner than it did.
But I think the same could have been said for Sammy with Impact. The same could have been said. He was part of what brought them back from the depths.
You've had your time, sir.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're right.
there's no rebuttals in this thing.
But I do have. I recognize him. I recognize him. He's great. But I just think that Pentagon Jr., for everything he was then and what he is now, you square him up.
So there is a vote, Sammy Callahan. There is a vote, Pentagon Jr. We turn to our
We
judge.
have our
to
first
finish.
tie.
For the first time, you got to decide this.
As the lights go dim.
Hang on.
There you go. Yes. Roll that beautiful bean footage. I can make you laugh and you can't refuse.
This is a tough one. It is. And I agree on both behalves. Both companies that they represented at one time were saved by these people. If I'm going off of pure athletic ability and current stature, Pentagon Jr.
Damn it.
I told them it was a smart move bringing you on this show. I told them.
I mean,
Supposed to be my first win.
logically, it just makes sense.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong. Really, honestly, even with this match being on paper, you couldn't go wrong. Regardless of which way it was going to go, you couldn't go wrong.
I would actually like to see it.
And even if Callahan,
All three of their matches were absolutely amazing. Absolutely.
and I still think, even if Callahan didn't do what he did in Impact, I still think Impact would have been around longer than Lucha was without Pentagon Jr. Pentagon Jr., he wasn't there. Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. They gone. they,
All right.
you can throw the dirt on them. Rest in peace. Done a lot sooner than Impact would have been.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, that's going to move on to Group 2. We will reveal the next round in that side a little bit later on. We got to move on to Group 1 now, and it's going to be Will versus Josh in this one at the top of the bracket. It's R-Truth versus Jungle Boy.
Oh boy.
I'm wondering if I'm going to be in this tournament at come the end of the night, man.
Come on, man.
Weird.
Believe. You got to believe. You got to believe. Yes.
Believe, Josh. You got this.
All right. Will is going first with R-Truth. R-Trizzle.
Okay.
And go.
If you look at everything R-Truth has done in the business, not only in WWE, where he's been a constant and very good hand. Look at what he did back in NWA. Still has one of the best promos ever. Go back and look what he's done in WWE. Has held almost every championship except a world championship. Been a tag team champion, United States champion, Intercontinental champion. His resume is almost second to none. And then let's not also take a step back. For a minute, he was irrelevant. Then when he took over the 24/7 title, all of a sudden, bam, he's right back in relevancy again. He enjoys being out there. He's an older competitor, but he's done almost everything resume-wise you can ask a wrestler to do. And I got him winning this match.
Go.
I'm not going to lie. This is a tough fight. R-Truth is a very good competitor. Jungle Boy is still growing. He's only been in the business for 5 years at this point, but he has done some amazing things. He took Jericho to his 10 minutes. He has fought Cody for the TNT Championship in a match that was one of the best matches AEW has put on Dynamite. He is growing fast and in a hurry. Now, I would love to see him get better on the mic, but he is such a hard worker, and the stuff that him and MJF are doing back and forth, not all the time, just on occasion, are amazing. And I realize what side this is probably going to end up on, but I think Jack Perry would take R-Truth to his limit. If he didn't win it, it'd be very close. Done.
All right.
So we come up here to the Great White North, and I'm going to say this. I give it to Jungle Boy. He would take R-Truth to his max potential, to his limit, but resume speaks for itself for R-Truth. A two-time NWA heavyweight champion. He's held almost every major title in the WWE except for World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Heavyweight title. He's made a title that technically you could call it a comedy title, the 24/7, but it made it relevant. He's put it on the map. People want it. Right now Shelton Benjamin holds it. So I gotta go R-Truth.
I absolutely agree with you. It comes with resume and all that stuff. R-Truth has done a lot. He has been around a lot in this sport, and I give a lot of props to the 24/7, 48, 7-Eleven, I-95 South North United States champion. But if we're going on talent, and don't get me wrong, R-Truth was great back in his day when he was running the Truth Killings. But right now, I got to say, Jungle Boy is leaps and bounds ahead of him. And Jungle Boy was great before even Jurassic Express and AEW. So with that looking at it both ways, I'm giving the nod to Jungle Boy.
Ooh, it's gonna be a tough one.
Now over.
Lies, court of succession.
Oh, and Rambo had something to say to you, Gene.
That's true. That's true. It is Tozawa in the Ninjas.
No, I thought R-Truth took it.
No, he stole it, but when they had the match,
you're right.
Tozawa won it.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep.
So I cannot take anything away from neither of these athletes. How old is Jack Perry, he's what?
Like 20.
He's very young. Yeah.
97. So yeah, 23.
So to be where he's at the age that he's at, doing what he's doing, is phenomenal. R-Truth, he came in the game a lot older and was doing exactly what that young man is doing right now. R-Truth has been all over the world. R-Truth is a proven champion and deserves to be champion, as does Jack Perry. But resume speaks for itself. R-Truth.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
He's a Hall of Famer.
All right.
At the end of the
R-Truth
day, he's a Hall of Famer.
R-Truth gets the win. Another one of Josh's falls by the wayside. All right. Oh God, where do I go now? Do you just want to go down the? We just want to go down the bracket.
Yeah, let's go straight down because the last match needs to be the last. So
okay, well then, if we're going in the order of the bracket, it's going to be Will versus Gene. Get ready, folks. The comments are going to start heating up. It's The Rock versus the Rock versus Edge.
Woo!
Man.
So,
so now R-Truth is being hunted by ninjas. If that doesn't say B movie written all over it, then B was a good champion.
I'd watch it.
don't worry, I'll take care of that on Saturday. I'll take care of that on Saturday. But anyway,
I would watch it.
So, Will, you get the rock, you get the floor for 1 minute, and I get a minute at the end for the Rated R Superstars.
All right, boys. Here's the marquee matchup: Rock versus Edge.
Will, are you ready? And go.
All right, you guys. We all know who The Rock is. One of the most charismatic wrestlers of all time. The man has done everything you can ask and then some. He's a 2-time WCW champion. He's an 8-time WWE champion, multiple-time Intercontinental and Tag Team champion, as well as Royal Rumble, and many, many more accolades. Plus, he's had a couple of matches of the year voted on by PWI. He's also taken his talents outside of the ring and into the realm of acting. And I just think with everything that he's done in this sport, plus he also didn't miss time due to injury, and I hate to bring that up, but he hasn't missed time due to injury like Edge did with his neck situation. And The Rock has also had some of the best feuds in the history of sports with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and others. So I gotta give it to The Rock in this one. It'd be close, be really, really close, but I gotta give it to The Rock.
Go.
Okay. What can I say? He is already currently a Hall of Famer. This is the Rated R Superstar. He was in some of the best tag teams. Think of the TLC matches numerous times. You still talk about them and hear about them today. When he pulls his hair back and gets ready into that spear, it's 1, 2, 3 at the end of that. He has had multiple great matches with many people, from going all the way from Jericho down to The Undertaker. He's won multiple time championships all over. Heavyweight champion, multiple time tag team champion, intercontinental champion. He is a King of the Ring winner. He has won a Royal Rumble. What more can be said? He came back from a neck injury that everybody thought he was done and over with the industry. He also did do some acting as well, and he's been also in a series that's been filmed here in Nova Scotia, Canada, in Halifax. So once again, Edge, I gotta give it to my boy Edge. He's taking it over The Rock.
Time. Wow. Josh, you want to go first, or you want me to go first on this one?
You go first on this one.
All right. If charisma was a superpower, this would be Batman and Robin. With The Rock being Batman, we are talking about two of the biggest stars in WWE history, and I'm gonna say that one of them is more versatile than the other, as far as it goes, in in-ring ability and all that. So my vote is going to go for the rated R superstar Edge.
Josh.
All right, so I agree with everything everybody said. Rob, everybody. This is a tough one. I was coming into wrestling when Edge was really getting going with everything, and his TLC matches, and then the Rated R Superstar, the stuff with Lita, his feud with John Cena, and I only caught the very end of The Rock's career. So, in everything that I know, in the fact that Edge came back from an injury to then everything, I also got to go with Edge. And I think that's our first upset.
Now we're over to the judge.
Can they really call it an upset, though?
No.
I don't know.
Man, this is so hard, but we already have a winner. I feel like in my gut, The Rock comes out on top. And not taking nothing away from Edge. Edge is phenomenal, has done phenomenal things. However, this ability, I feel like The Rock could do everything Edge can, and probably better. If you put so if The Rock came back right now at the same time as Edge did, I still feel like The Rock would be more dominant. I feel like he would get over more. I feel like he'd probably mop the floor with Edge. And it's like Will said, he's never missed a beat as far as injury goes either. So my vote, The Rock.
This my boy got one.
All right. It is a 2-1 vote, so we give it to Edge. He moves on. All right. We're gonna move on. Will versus Gene on this one, and it's going to be Hardcore Country, Mickie James, taking on the leader of the Undisputed Era. No, you're not gonna get to say it. I get to say it. Adam Cole, baby. So
Will gets to go first.
You got a minute to convince us on Mickie James, and go.
I got Mickie James. And the reason why I chose Mickie James is her experience in the business. She's been a multiple-time world champion in both WWE and over at TNA/Impact. She's been a multiple world champion. She's had many good feuds and come out on top of many of those feuds. She has beaten Trish Stratus. She's beaten Lita. She's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame at some point. You can't really say that about Adam right now because he's on the younger end of things. You don't know where it's going to end up for him. But you do know that Mickie will be in the Hall of Fame, and she's represented everywhere well, and she's been a multiple-time world champion.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Oh, please.
All right there in the words in that sentence. Gold baby, the longest reigning NXT champion, Adam Cole. He's known throughout Ring of Honor. He was one part of the most dominant team ever, and that was in the Bullet Club. The reason you know him, he was also part of the Kingdom. Again, Adam Cole is known for being Adam Cole, Bay. He is money. When he came into NXT, he's money. Undisputed Era, money. You hear them all the time. They had all the gold at one point for a year. He is the first ever United or North American champion. Adam Cole is going to be the biggest thing, hottest thing in the WWE. And once he makes it to the main roster, it's only going up from there. I say it again. Adam Cole, Bay, Gold, Bay.
You deserve to win just how fast you put that T-shirt on.
Let's put it this way, Josh. Thank you for the idea of putting everybody when they're speaking on screen, so we didn't have to see him change into that T-shirt.
Thank you, once again. Thanks that Will was actually the guy that got to go first.
That's why he's like, we'll go first. I gotta change.
Yeah. Here's my question: is that shirt clean or dirty?
Clean.
Okay. All right. Just wondering.
So I'm sorry. I love hardcore country. I love me some Mickey James, but Adam Cole Bay wins this one for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Adam Cole, baby.
Clean sweep, Adam Cole.
Yep, clean sweep, Adam Cole. All right.
If it's who
All
I,
right.
if it was who I wanted, it would have been a little bit of a better match.
That would have been a good match.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up to the judge. All right, the judge. This is only for the judge if he decides. Brandon, replace Mickey James with Iceman King Parsons. Is the result any different?
Yeah, it won't be different.
No.
Brandon's face read like Mickey James would have had better chance.
So, Will, objection overruled. Okay.
Oh, man.
That's okay. That's okay. You can get him. You can get him back, Will. You can get him back, Will, because you guys are in the next matchup too. It's Gene versus Will. Gene, you're going first. Bret Hart versus Booker T. Gene, you got a minute and go.
What can I say? It's Bret the Hitman Hart, the excellence of execution. He is the man, the myth, the legend, two-time Hall of Famer. He's been put in the Hall of Fame with not only himself, but also with the Hart Foundation. He's already a 5-time champion in the WWE, a 1-time WCW heavyweight champion, a 1-time United States champion, a 1-time tag team champion in WCW. Though when he went over to WCW, they did him dirty. Don't get me wrong. And yes, we can talk about the Montreal Screwjob all day, that it was Bret who screwed Bret, Vince screwed Bret. We can talk about all that all day. But at the end of the day, his resume speaks alone. That's the reason why he's called the excellence of execution. And if he was to put Mr. Booker T in that sharpshooter, Booker T's going to tap out like everybody else.
Get that far, cuz.
Done.
Go ahead, Will.
It won't even get that far, cuz. Let me tell you right now, Booker T, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-time WCW champion. Multiple-time World Tag Team champion with Harlem Heat. In the Hall of Fame. He's also gone into WWE and became a world heavyweight champion over on SmackDown. Also, go look at Reality of Wrestling, his own federation, champion there as well. Booker has done a lot for this sport. He's done a lot for this business, has his own podcast. He has done everything you can ask a wrestler to do and then some. His resume speaks for itself. He's in the Hall of Fame. Don't take that away from him. Just like Bret, he's in the Hall of Fame. Don't take that away from him. 5-time world champion, multiple-time world tag team champion, WCW television champion, also beating R. Anderson, missile drop kit on Nitro. Don't forget that as well.
Rob, I'm
All
gonna
right.
get you on this one.
Oh, thanks a lot, pal. Both of them have the resume.
Above, so we know who's talking.
Yep. Both of them have the resume for both have been a king. Both, King Bret Hart and King Booker. But it comes down, while the resume for both men are there, it comes down to the pedigree of both men. And Hart has it in spades with the Hart wrestling family. It's probably the closest match that we have so far in this tournament, but I'm going to give the edge, the very, very slight edge to Bret Hart.
So in this match, this one comes down to me for also era to me. I missed a lot of Bret. I caught very tail end of. He never came back after WCW, so I really didn't get a lot of him. So for me, in knowing what I know, and also Texas boy, got to go with my dude. I got to go with Booker. Like he's done so much for the business, and now he's down in Houston creating more talent with his reality wrestling, and he's produced likes of Ember Moon. So I got to go with Booker.
Can we just take a second to thank him for Ember Moon?
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes.
The judge approves.
Court is in session. The judge
Not know that you knew, but Will has actually interviewed her twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey now. No, go ahead, Judge.
We're gonna have to work on a third time.
Right.
For me, Bret Hart, he's got all the accolades. He does. But also, it also comes down to era. I feel like the era that Booker T was in, a lot stiffer competition.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, Booker gets the W in this. It's not taking nothing away from Bret. Bret is amazing. Booker is five-time WCW champion for a reason.
So it is a 2-1 vote for Booker on that one.
Because we're running on time, I know the next match, and I'm going to even just tap it. I love Mance Warner. I do. But he has no chance against Omega, and we need to move it along.
Okay.
We're getting into linked here. So I'm going to say Omega takes it.
I'm gonna do the same. Okay. So you're giving up the win for to move on Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing because I have a match. I have two competitors in the same match between Rosemary and Marty Scurll. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to pick a winner for that one, and I'm gonna have Scurll move along for that one.
Okay. So that's perfect. That brings us to our double main event.
That's right. That's right. We're the double main event. It's Josh versus me. And I'm just going to love to hear him say this name for the next minute. Kazuchika Okada versus Drew McIntyre. Josh, you are first. 1 minute and go.
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say here. Kazuchika Okada.
You've been working on that.
Okada has been the top guy in New Japan for years. He has held the IWGP title, one of the most prestigious titles to hold in wrestling, multiple occasions. He is the guy over there. Multiple times been referred to the John Cena of NWGP. He is the biggest name that they have ever had. There's no one bigger than him. In this match, Drew is great. But if they were facing each other across the ring, the Rainmaker's got this every single time. I'm done.
I will concede that point to you that that Okada has the resume with all that. Drew, I think, is.
Rob, you got a fan.
What's that?
You got a fan.
I see that. Yep. McIntyre has had his issues in the past, but he matches up with strength with Okada. He matches up with durability with Okada. and he's finally figured it out, so he can be there with the best of them. So it's going to be a really, really close match, but I'm going to give the win. I think McIntyre. I think Okada has lost a step. I think Okada is one-dimensional. I think McIntyre can be more versatile. I give the win to McIntyre.
So I'm going to start us off in this whole debate. The Rainmaker versus the Scottish Psychopath. If this match was played out in front of us, it'd be very tight. Because I would say Okada at one point, if we're talking about the Okada that took on Omega, then that's going to be a fight all day for Drew. But if we're talking about the Okada that we've recently seen, I have to give the edge just slightly to Drew McIntyre. And that's where I'm going with right now is Drew McIntyre. Because if you look at the Okada right now that we're getting, it's a more he's lost his luster, he's lost his step. He has a great resume, but that's prior. It's getting to that point where Okada, I think, is going to have to soon here move out of Japan and become better. So I got to go with Drew McIntyre.
I got Drew McIntyre. He's more, he's had his issues, but he still has zest for the business. And and believe it or not, he's still young. Comparative, he's still young. So I got to go with McIntyre.
Wow.
Judge
Okada.
I see where you're going with that, though. I see where you're going with that.
Hey guys, if you're hanging out in the chat, please like and share the post. We greatly appreciate it.
All right, so McIntyre moves on. Our final match of the night, the main event of the evening, and this one's a personal one, I think. It's going to be Josh versus Gene on this one. It's Cody, the American, as Justin Roberts would say, the American Nightmare. Cody.
Nightmare!
Cody taking on the Game, Triple H.
Ooh, I want to see this one really.
Me too.
Oh God!
Don't
So
be
the
badly.
chair
So
maker
badly.
versus the chair breaker.
Wow. Josh, you are first.
All right. There's not a lot to be said about Cody Rhodes. The man came out of dire situation, barely people knowing his name in the WWE, other than knowing his last name, and built up a brand. He clawed on the indies for several years, joining the Bullet Club, building up a brand with the American Nightmare, constantly doing better and better, and then did All Out, the first ever wrestling produced pay-per-view. The first time ever for a wrestler to do that. Him and the Young Bucks pulled that together. And he is defending the TNT Championship now weekly, constantly putting guys over on a regular basis, something Triple H didn't ever do very well. Also, he didn't have to sleep his way to the top.
Oh!
Time.
War. Oh.
Time.
Wow. Oh.
Okay. 25 years in the business speaks for itself. He creates the brand that is NXT that goes up against AEW on a weekly basis. He's helped this group right here, the Undisputed Era. Again, Triple H came from multiple factions, from D-Generation X in the Attitude Era, all the way up to Evolution, creating what we got now, which is Randy Orton. So once again, his resume speaks for himself. He's been multiple-time champion, 14 times heavyweight champion. Cody Rhodes, when you look at just resume right there, I can tell you, if this was a match at WrestleMania, Cody is going to tap to the cerebral assassin all day, and that would be a sledgehammer to the head. And yeah, he's at the top, and he's going to own the WWE one day. So, brother, that's just how it is.
Power coming from the Maple Leaf in Canada, boy. Woo!
Yeah. Absolutely.
Both guys coming strong. Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
If I
man.
win this one, I'm out.
No.
Really?
We can't. No. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. We're judging this match. This is way too tough.
I'm just saying why I hit so hard on this one.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
First thing we talk, I got to throw a little bit of Gene's argument out the window because we're not talking about, this is a wrestling tournament. We're not talking about running a brand or anything like that. Same thing with Cody being an executive vice president in AEW. We got to throw both of them out. We're talking about wrestling ability, and both of them have it. And both, the edge that I gotta give to the guy, they've both built themselves up very good. If I'm going with wrestling ability, and I'm gonna take a lot of heat for this, my vote's for Cody.
Man, this is a tough match to judge. You have one person who's done it on his own, another guy who's come with great family lineage. Both guys have ability, but to me, it's just a resume. And when you look overall, Triple H has the resume that Cody doesn't have. He's been at the top of the mountain as a world champion multiple times. He's done almost everything you can ask a wrestler to do, whereas Cody, for whatever reason, WWE didn't. So I got to go with Triple H.
Oh, it falls to the judge.
It fittingly falls to the judge, the last match of the night, probably the most important one of the night.
It's tough, bro.
It is. I mean, what can you say? Cody, ground up, great family. Hunter worked himself into a position to be where he's at, but also very, very well. He's been champion how many times? Like forever, right? So,
Times.
oh, man.
It's so tough. And that's not even putting in the personal factor between the two.
No, not at all.
Putting that in.
Not at all, man. And I love everything Cody's done. I love everything he's done with AEW. I love the whole Cody Rhodes story. I'm a huge Dusty Rhodes fan because for me, you couldn't say nothing wrong about his daddy. I don't care. You're not going to.
You do. I'm going to stab you with this pin.
But man, if you look at Triple H, Josh, you keep referring to whenever we were kids growing up. DX, man, Hunter was right there. He was in your face. 2 words for you. It is what it is. And I have watched the man's career. I got to give it to Triple H.
Wow.
That's tough, man.
I
That
got
match is tough. That match is tough.
Oh.
And the only thing you can really gauge it with,
his resume.
yeah, the only thing you can really gauge it with. You can't gauge it on anything else because they both have everything else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As far as world titles goes, it was 14-1.
Yeah.
And Cody was NWA champion.
Yep.
Yep.
at one point.
Nicholas.
So
And I
So
mean, according to AEW storylines, he'll never hold it in AEW. So
that's true.
Yeah,
That's absolutely true.
that is true.
That's why he's not dropping the TNT title anytime soon. But anyway,
he's gonna drop it all out.
yeah. So that is going to do that's going to do it with our first round, and this is kind of surprising to me. Looking at the number of wrestlers that survived, well, you have 4 wrestlers that have survived. Gene, you have 5, and I have 7. Josh's team, the young guns, are all eliminated from the Aces of Eights tournament.
I didn't see that coming.
No, I don't think anybody saw it. A complete team wiped out, but
Wow.
it was the draw. So next week we move on to the second round of the Aces of Eights tournament, and we have some interesting matches coming up. Looking at the Group 2 brackets after we did them first.
Yep.
Again, I have 2 matches here that I have 2 wrestlers against.
Yep.
This is crazy. It's going to be John Moxley versus Will Ospreay, Butch Reed versus Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho versus Ron Simmons, Tetsuya Naito against Pentagon Jr. That's in Group 2. And in Group 1, it's going to be R-Truth versus Edge, Adam Cole versus Booker T, Kenny Omega versus Drew McIntyre, and Marty Scurll versus Triple H.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
That's going to be big.
Yeah.
That's coming up next week on the Paradigm Shift.
So to all those people, tune in to next Wednesday because round 2, as they would say in Mortal Kombat.
Round 2, fight.
Yeah.
I have to agree with Rambo. That's all of those are going to be bloodbaths.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now, Josh. Since you are out of the tournament, I'm gonna make you my proxy for the matches that I have 2 people up against.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
So real quick before when we got to get out of here because that went a lot longer than what we were planning. But we did want to bring up one little piece of 2 little pieces of news actually. There's 2 things that need to be brought up. First off, Mr. Will, The Rock buying XFL.
Yes.
Woo, boy!
Yes.
He got that cheap.
You need to get together and talk about getting this show started again.
He got it dirt cheap because he was the only company that
15 million. I watched.
His ex-wife too.
Huh?
His ex-wife is in there.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I watched. Well, he's involved in all of his stuff, but I watched Titans, his show. I watched Titans last night, and the guy that's executive producer of that show is one of the other guys he bought it with. So
Nice.
I think that was a great buy for him. The man's got a football mind. He loves the sport. It still will somewhat be able to keep it WWE related. And
I'll throw this out. He was in Canadian CFL. He worked for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yes.
So he knows his football.
And hopefully he keeps out of the look.
the
This is
next
going to be
thing,
good for all football leagues.
the next thing I wanted to bring up is what the heck is up with Marty Jannetty? Like
I'm going to say this. I'm only going to say this.
his Instagram post. The man is now admitting to basically murder.
Okay. I'm going to say this. Can Shawn Michaels just come out of retirement just for a quick second and super kick him through another window, please? Please.
I think Marty needs a reboot, man.
It's plain and simple. He's out of money.
No.
This is all
Marty
just
doesn't need a
publicity
reboot.
stunt.
Marty needs rehab.
Yes.
But Gene does bring up a point. He hasn't been the same since that kick.
Well, that kick. Okay,
Same since that
call
kick.
that kick what it really is. That kick was the kick that stopped a career.
Yeah.
That kick killed his career. Dead,
Oh, yeah.
buried, flatlined. The moment that he kicked him and threw him to the window, Marty Jannetty died.
Done. He had that one Intercontinental Championship run, but I was a feud with Sean. Past that, he did nothing.
Next thing, right? Hey, he teamed with Leaf Cassidy.
That's true. That's
in
true.
The New Rockers, Al Snow.
He
But
did
the
that.
guy is wrestling out of basement of houses right now. Think about it.
Dang.
He is wrestling in somebody's basement for probably what, $50? It's a publicity stunt.
And
I
two hot
don't.
dogs.
This is. Come on.
No. I think,
He's not that smart. First off,
no.
Look at the plan he's putting together right now. He's an idiot.
He didn't have a business plan after he got super kicked in the head by Shawn Michaels. He didn't have a plan B. He didn't have a backup.
No.
And it just everything went downhill. So
And you remember? Do you remember? He tried to come back for that thing with Kurt Angle. Got in more trouble.
Yeah. His
with
mouth.
I don't know.
all we got out of that was Kurt Angle singing Shawn Michaels' song, and then hearing he got his ankle hurt and he still can't walk. He's a sexy Kurt. Okay, like please, I don't want to go down memory road.
I'll make your ankle hurt.
I
Hurt.
think he hit a support beam on the other side of that window. That's why he's not the same. He missed the mat. He hit a support beam.
There you go.
If we're going to be nice, maybe Marty Jannetty, the reason why he doesn't have any money because he paid, the barber, he paid him the $300, to fix the window. That's why. Yeah.
You know what?
He took the tab for Sean.
My opinion is there's something else going on here with my. Excuse me, I got this post nasal drip going on. There's a little something going on there. With Marty.
Thank you.
You know what? Somebody reach out to him right now. I'm sure he'll answer. We're going to bring him on the Paradigm Shift. We're going to get down to the bottom of this.
Somewhere in my neck of the woods. Last I saw, he was in Rincon, Georgia, or something like that. He's somewhere close to here. Who's more worse off, Marty or Virgil?
Oh man!
Wow.
Damn.
Let me tell you a story about Virgil. I went to it. I was taking pictures at an independent show, and there were a lot of people like stars there. There was Chris Candido was there, Big Dick Dudley was there, and Virgil came in. Virgil wasn't wrestle; he was just there to sell autographs and all that. That they brought him in, and he looked at me and he said, hey, reporter man, you want an autograph? It's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll take an autograph. All right, sign this picture. Okay, there you go. $20. And I'm like, what? You offered me the autograph. And he's like, come on, that's $20 right there. Give me $20. Yeah, give him the $20, but he don't have the autograph anymore, but yeah.
I spent a little too much time with Ted DiBiase.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was in NWO in WCW.
This was after NWO. This might have been.
That might well you're talking about WCW.
I'm talking maybe. I want to say 98, 99, maybe.
Oh yeah, he was done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a great show, even though that I am already out of this tournament.
Oh, you want some cheese to go with that wine?
But that was a great show. A lot of great discussion, some awesome matches, some matches that I would really like to see in real life.
Young guns turning into pea shooters.
This went way longer than we thought. We would like to, again, I'd like to throw a thank you to Brandon and Gene for everything from the graphics to the videos for this show. Appreciate everything y'all did for this show. Like to thank our sponsors, Paradise Customs, the Wrestling Boiler Room. Thank you to everybody who lets us to string in their rooms. The Sports Report,
MWA. Multi-Continental Wrestling Alliance.
WRS. Give another shout out
WRS
to
Wrestling
Tyler
Review Society.
Rodriguez.
If you
Yes.
were looking for the audio version of our show, please check us out on Spotify, Google Podcast, Breaker. In Google and Breaker, please rate. 5-star rating does big things for us. Also, if you are on Anchor and you want to be a supporter of the show, please join. That would be awesome for us. More supporters means better shows. So, find us on YouTube at Paradigm Shift Wrestling Podcast. Find us on Facebook at Paradigm Wrestling. Find us on Spotify, Google, Breaker. Thank y'all, guys. We'll see y'all again next week. Y'all have a great night. And for the love of wrestling.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.